He accidentally hit his head on the 500-year-old wall and heard a voice inside say, "You saved me." The alleys of the old city were narrower than Ion remembered. Every step was an echo. Every wall leaned forward like an eavesdropper. The smell of moss, incense, and ancient dust clung to the air. Most travelers came here with guides and maps. Ion had come alone, with only a camera hanging around his neck and a gnawing urge to capture something that felt older than time itself. The locals called this part of Barmer the Quarter of Whispers. He had laughed at the name when a shopkeeper warned him not to linger past sunset. But as he wandered deeper, the laughter faded. The stones were too quiet. He stopped at a courtyard half swallowed by vines. At its center rose a wall, black stone, impossibly tall, blotched with moss and lined with carvings so faded they resembled scars. Ion felt a strange pull toward it. This wall wasn't in his guidebook. It wasn't marked with plaques or barriers. It just existed, ancient and patient. He raised his camera, looking for an angle. His foot slipped on damp stone, and before he could catch himself, crack! His temple struck the wall. Stars burst in his vision, pain lancing through his head. Ion staggered, clutching his forehead, and then he heard it. "You saved me." He froze. The words were faint, like a sigh breathed against his ear. "Hello?" His voice shook in the empty courtyard. Nothing answered, only the stillness of vines and stone. He rubbed his eyes. Maybe the impact had rattled him into hallucinating. But then it came again, softer, curling through the cracks of the wall. "You saved me." The voice in stone. Ion pressed his palm to the wall. The surface was cold, slick with moss. But beneath it, he swore he felt something. A faint vibration, like a heartbeat echoing through centuries of silence. His throat went dry. "Who's there?" For a long moment, silence. Then, the voice again, clearer this time, feminine, weary, and edged with desperation. 500 years. I thought I'd never be heard again. The hairs on Ion's neck prickled. This isn't real. I hit my head. I'm imagining this. A low hum, almost like laughter, rippled through the stones. No dream lasts 5 centuries, traveler. You broke the seal. I can finally speak. Seal? Ion traced his fingers across the carvings. Up close, they weren't random scratches. They spiraled inward toward a central slab. Faded though they were, the symbols pulsed faintly in the dim light. "Who are you?" "I was once called Alina." Her voice trembled. "A healer, a singer the old ways. The priests feared me, so they bound me here. They believed silence was safer than song." Vision slammed into Ion's mind. A woman with silver-threaded braids, shackled as chanting priests pressed their palms to the stone. Her song filled the air, beautiful and dangerous. And then the wall closed over her like a tomb. Ion gasped, stumbling back. "That was you?" "That actually happened. Half a life ago. Half a death ago. You!" Her voice faltered. "You carry blood. You've awakened me." Only then did Ion notice the smear on the wall where his head had struck. His blood had seeped into the carvings, glowing faintly like embers beneath water. "Blood breaks oaths," Alina whispered. "Blood calls blood." The first mark. Despite the fear clawing at his stomach, curiosity rooted Ion in place. He touched one of the glowing symbols. It pulsed warmly under his fingertips. The courtyard shuddered. Dust rained down. "Yes." Alina's voice strengthened. "Trace the marks. Free me." Symbols ignited across the stone in a slow ripple, forming a constellation. Ion pulled back. "Free you? I don't even know what's happening. I just wanted photographs." "You chose to listen when others would have run," Alina said softly. "Do not stop now." The wardens awakened. The air shifted. Shadows stretched unnaturally, peeling away from the corners of the courtyard. They thickened, taking form. Tall, faceless figures, their edges flickering like smoke stitched with stone. The temperature plummeted. Ion's breath fogged. What are those? Wardens. Alina's voice trembled. Fragments of the priest's curse. They guard my prison. The nearest warden lunged. Its claws scraped sparks on the ground as it swung at him. Ion threw himself aside, heart hammering. Finished the pattern. Alina cried. Only then would they vanish. Shaking, Ion pressed his bleeding palm to the next symbol. It blazed. The warden shrieked, recoiling. He scrambled across the wall, smearing blood along each mark, while the wardens closed in. Every symbol lit brighter, humming with energy. The ground shook. At last, only one symbol remained, the center spiral. Breaking the seal, Ion slammed his palm into it. The courtyard filled with deafening sound, like a bell rung underwater. Cracks spiderwebbed across the stone. The wardens convulsed, howling without mouths, before shattering into dust. The wall split open. Light burst forth, white and gold, blinding. Through it stepped a woman, the woman of 5 centuries. She was exactly as he had seen in his vision. Hair the color of storm clouds, eyes dark as twilight, skin pale but unwrinkled. Shackles still marked her wrists. Her gaze swept the courtyard, then landed on Ion. You! Her voice now filled the air, not his mind. You heard me? Ion backed up, chest heaving. You're real. Alina smiled faintly, a mixture of relief and sorrow. Real enough. She touched his temple lightly. The pain of his injury vanished instantly. You freed me, she whispered, after centuries in silence. The debt? But why me? Ion asked. Alina's expression darkened. Because freedom is never free. By breaking the seal, you inherited the bond. She reached for his hand. A sudden sting flared in his palm. A mark appeared, glowing faintly, the same spiral he had traced. Ion yanked his hand back. What is this? A life debt. Alina said quietly. Old magic. My fate is tied to yours. My enemies will seek you as they once sought me. The weight of choice. The carvings faded to dead stone again. The courtyard felt emptier than before, yet heavier with what had just transpired. Ion swallowed. So what now? You go your way, I go mine. Alina shook her head. If I walk free, the old wardens will rise again. Their master's descendants will sense me. Alone I will fall. With you I might endure. I didn't sign up for this. Ion snapped. I came here for photos, not ancient curses. Her gaze softened. And yet you stayed when you could have run. The bond is sealed. You are no longer just a witness. You are a keeper of my freedom. Epilogue, the whisper returns. The last rays of sunlight struck the ruined wall, igniting the moss in fleeting gold. For a moment, the carvings glimmered again. A voice, soft in a sigh, drifted from the stone. Not Alina's this time, but something older. You saved her, but who will save you? Ion didn't hear it. He was already following Alina out of the courtyard, his camera swinging forgotten at his side, his palm throbbing with the pulse of a second heartbeat. The city had given him more than photographs. It had given him a burden 5 centuries old, and it was only the beginning.